would win in a fight. The brutal sword techniques of Niten Ichi-ryū, or the flowing, defensive art of Aikido. Can Aikido's peaceful philosophy stand a chance against the lethal precision of Niten Ichi-ryū's dual-wielding swords? Critics say Aikido is too soft, too passive, while others argue that Niten Ichi-ryū is overly reliant on weapons. In this video, we're putting these two martial arts to the test in an epic showdown. Will the swordsman cut through Aikido's defenses, or will the Aikido practitioner turn the aggression against itself? Watch as we dive into this intense and unexpected battle. Niten Ichi-ryū is a kenjutsu school known for its practical and deadly sword techniques. The style emphasizes dual-wielding, with the practitioner often using both a katana, long sword, and a wakizashi, short sword. This dual sword approach, or Niten Ichi, provides a significant advantage in both offense and defense. The practitioner can strike with one hand while defending with the other, creating a seamless flow of attacks and counterattacks. The school's techniques are deeply rooted in battlefield-tested strategies, focusing on precise strikes, efficient movement, and the exploitation of openings in the opponent's defense. Niten Ichi-ryū practitioners are trained to deliver lethal strikes with minimal effort, making them formidable opponents in any combat scenario. While Niten Ichi-ryū excels in armed combat, its effectiveness in unarmed scenarios is limited. The techniques are designed for sword fighting, and while the principles of timing, distance, and strategy can be adapted, the lack of specific unarmed combat training puts the practitioner at a disadvantage if disarmed or facing a skilled grappler. Moreover, the reliance on weapons could be a liability in a situation where swords are not available or permitted. Aikido, in contrast, is a martial art that focuses on redirecting the opponent's energy rather than meeting force with force. It employs joint locks, throws, and pins to neutralize an attack, often using the attacker's momentum against them. Aikido practitioners are adept at blending with the opponent's movements, making it difficult for the attacker to land a successful strike. The philosophy of Aikido emphasizes nonviolence and self-defense, making it effective in controlling a situation without causing serious harm to the opponent. This makes Aikido particularly useful in scenarios where restraint and control are prioritized over lethal force. One of the main criticisms of Aikido is that it can be less effective against opponents who are not compliant or who do not initiate a traditional attack. Many Aikido techniques assume a specific type of strike or grab, and if the opponent deviates from this, the effectiveness of the technique can be diminished. Additionally, Aikido practitioners often train in a cooperative manner, which can lead to challenges in adapting to the unpredictability of a real fight, where the opponent does not follow the expected patterns. In a hypothetical challenge between a Niten Ichi-ryū swordsman and an Aikido practitioner, the outcome would largely depend on the circumstances of the fight. Scenario 1. Armed combat. If the confrontation involves swords, the advantage clearly lies with the Niten Ichi-ryū practitioner. The lethal precision and battlefield experience embedded in the school's techniques would likely overwhelm the Aikido practitioner, who is not trained to deal with skilled swordsmen. While Aikido does have techniques to disarm or neutralize armed attackers, the dual sword strategy and relentless offense of Niten Ichi-ryū would be difficult to counter. Scenario 2. Unarmed combat. In an unarmed confrontation, the dynamics change. Without swords, the Niten Ichi-ryū practitioner loses their primary advantage. Here, the Aikido practitioner could use their skills to redirect strikes, apply joint locks, and potentially neutralize the Niten Ichi-ryū opponent. Aikido's focus on maintaining control and utilizing the opponent's energy could prove advantageous, especially if the fight becomes a grappling match. Will the outcome of this challenge hinges on the context? If the fight takes place with swords, Niten Ichi-ryū would likely claim victory due to its deadly precision and combat-focused techniques. However, in a purely unarmed scenario, the Aikido practitioner has a better chance of winning by neutralizing the opponent's attacks and leveraging their mastery of joint locks and throws. Ultimately, the winner would be determined by the conditions of the fight and the specific skills of the individual practitioners.